That was funny. Yay, surprise. We're not going to do the intro again.
No.
Okay.
So good. Hello. Welcome to Live and Heather. This is going to be a good one. Welcome to the Live with Heidi and Heather show.
I'm Heidi Esther, joyful purpose mentor and author.
And I am Heather Cox, happiness expert. And
we're here to pump
you up. Oh, gosh. It's going to be a good one, people.
It is. It is. The stars are aligning.
We're here with true stories, lessons, and tools to help you get more joy, happiness, and freedom.
Come for the conversation and stay for the ridiculously cute dog cameos. And I'm not going to pull my dogs up because they're chewing on their pizzle sticks. And if you know what pizzle sticks are, you do not interrupt a dog when they eat them.
Yeah. So anyway, it's kind of like a girl's weekend, especially this episode, but without the hangover.
For sure. Oh, the alcohol. No, it might seem like it at this moment.
Yes.
All right. Here is the show. So, Heather, how are you taking care of yourself today?
I did a wonderful yoga class today, and I had one of my favorite people with me today, and she is a blessing to me. So, and I'm not just saying that because she might be watching. I say it all the time to my husband that I adore her. So, together we had a wonderful class, and I feel ready to take on the day.
Oh, lovely. Is it kind of just like you go back and forth and kind of like have a conversation with the yoga?
No, I haven't muted because I'm recording it for other people because people can sign up, and if they can't make the class, I send them the recording. Because
nice.
Yes, because not all of my times are suitable to everybody. But we had a nice little chat at the beginning. We talked about Belfast, which is an excellent movie, and I recommend that everybody see it. And then we did some yummy yoga, and yeah, so that was lovely. How about you? How are you taking care of yourself today?
Well, today I might have slept in during the week. It was kind of like a weekend sleep in.
Ooh.
I mean, I still woke up at 6:30, but that felt like 9:00. It felt really good. So been trying not to burn the candle at both ends.
Yeah,
With
it's hard.
my book launch going on and
Which
my
we're
kids'
excited about.
activities. Yay. So yeah, so that felt really good. And yeah, so I'm here with some tea, my lovely joyful mug of tea, and it has a chip in it because that always reminds me that we're all works in progress, and we all got chips, and we're still delicious.
And that's my favorite mug that you drink out of. It's a really pretty mug, and it's got a big handle, and it's big.
Yeah.
It's just like cozy. Everything about it is cozy.
It is cozy. What is it? What is that? There's like a Swedish word for that I always pronounce it wrong.
Yeah, it's like Haig or something, isn't it? Like, I don't know.
Yes, Hygge. I know how it's spelled. I think I used to call it hygge, like hygge, but I know it's not.
No, that sounds like those horns from those old cars. Hygge.
Oh, like the Shriners used to.
Yes.
Yeah, in the parade. Oh, I loved those. Those are fun.
All right. So what are you proud of this week, Heidi?
Oh, man. So proud. I just want to say that by doing this segment, it always makes me think that I was never proud of myself growing up because I was always just trying to do like the next best thing and the next best thing and the next perfect thing. So it's really nice. I started doing it around the dinner table. It's like my family is highly trained in gratitude.
Nice.
Like boom, at drop of a hat, they can just say, I am grateful for living. I am grateful for my lunch today, whatever. When I say that, it's like crickets.
Oh, interesting. Being proud is hard.
Yeah, so being proud of yourself is hard. So today, anyway, also, if anyone is watching the replay, watching live, feel free to put in how you are taking care of yourself.
Please do.
And what you are proud of. We would absolutely be delighted to know that.
Yeah.
So I am proud that yesterday and today I am uploading my book to It's kind of like a distribution site for indie publishers called Ingram Spark,
Mm. Nice.
and there's lots of hoops in there
Oh, yeah?
that I wasn't aware of. You need to figure out what your wholesale discount will be when retailers come in and wanna buy chunks of your book, but
Mm.
I'm gonna be honest with you here, Heather. I don't think retailers are gonna be looking for my book, so I'm not
I
too
don't know.
terribly.
We'll see. We'll see. I am 3/4 of the way through it, and I am enjoying it immensely. So,
Oh,
yeah,
thanks.
it's one of those where I have to stop. Like, okay, it's 11 o'clock. I need to put the Kindle down and go to sleep now. So I have to force myself to stop.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great
Hmm.
news. Even with, Heather shared technology challenges with me, so
But we're not going to talk
we're
about
not gonna talk about that, and I'm gonna have my top book formatter work on that.
it. Hmm.
So,
This is why you have people read it ahead of time before the actual launch,
yes, so that when there's any kind of snafulios, it can be
which is not your fault in any way, shape, or form.
right.
Hmm.
Yes. So, what are you proud of this week, Heather?
I am proud of becoming aware that I am not grounded right now. Um,
Mm.
and I looked back and I realized that so last Tuesday of last week, my computer died and I freaked out because my book that the rough draft of my book, but I mean, it was completed, like the whole thing was on that computer. And I was like, oh, holy hell. If it's gone, I don't know if I'm going to be able to write it again. And so, because Heidi, what would happen if you had to write your book all the way from the beginning again? You've already kind of downloaded it, you know?
Mhm.
But anyway, it turned out that it was still there. My computer was fixed by Friday. It was all good. Um, but I think that really threw me for a loop. And then yesterday, I'd just been making stupid mistakes, just not being present. And yesterday, the final one, which is that I took the chicken wings out of the freezer the night before and put them in the fridge, but I didn't put them in the fridge. I put them in the Tupperware cupboard because that's where Tupperware goes, and that's what it was in.
Mm,
So the chicken was
okay.
fine,
'Cause it was frozen,
because it
so
was
it would have
frozen
had
when
a
I put
long
it out,
time.
and there were wings, so there was bone, and it takes forever. So yes, we had them last night. I am still alive. Thumbs up. Uh, but anyway, that was like, okay, I need to do, and so I was just proud that I put two and two together and am doing things about it. That's what I'm proud of.
That's great. That's hard to be becoming ungrounded, like, I view it as uncentered. Is that kind of the
Yeah. Yep.
same
Hmm.
thing?
Yep.
That's something you really have to have a lot of awareness. So, when did you start to notice that you felt like did you feel off? What is your sensation of like, "Oh, I might not be grounded right now because this is going on and it knocked me off."
Um, when I, well, the stupid mistakes, but when I'm not being present, so I will do something and then go, did I do that? I totally did that because I was on autopilot, or
Mhm. Okay.
I'm so stuck in my head with thoughts. It's almost like I'm floating and just not being here and feeling.
Like attached to the ground, like
Mhm.
noticing that you are where you are walking and where you're at.
Mhm, and what
Okay.
I'm doing, and, yeah, and it's, and another thing that shows me is that, I mean, I enjoy listening to podcasts while I do things, but if I have to, that is another thing to me that I'm not wanting to be present for some reason. That, it's like
Oh, because
there's
it lets you
something.
unplug from the present and just plug into, like, something else.
Mhm. So, like, when I'm cleaning house and stuff, I love to listen to podcasts because I really don't enjoy what I'm doing, and that gives me something that's enjoyable so that I can move along.
Mhm, mhm.
But, when I just would prefer to be there instead of in the present, that's another sign to me that something's going on and I need to figure it out.
So when that moves from motivation to necessity, that's when you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Oh,
Well done. Good words.
wow.
And then what I do about it is I do more yoga, I do more meditation. I feel my feet a lot, whether I'm like touching my feet or just feeling my feet on the earth. Those things help for me. Some
Oh,
people like earthy foods, like root vegetables and things like that. Some people feel like that gets them grounded.
ooh,
Hmm.
I like that. I've been wondering about centeredness lately, and I went to a women's retreat last weekend,
Mm.
and I attended a session by an astrologist.
Okay.
And so we all have like, a sun sign, which is like our birth zodiac sign, and then we all have a moon sign. And so my sun sign is an element, like, so all of our signs are an element, right? So it's like fire, air, water, and earth.
Hmm.
So my sun sign is a fire, and my moon sign, which so sun sign, like your sun sign dictates how you view the world or how world
And
perceives you, and the moon sign is like your kind of internal
so,
world.
like the yin and the yang in a way.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
we all have this yin and yang, and sometimes that's the same and sometimes that's different. So mine is fire to the outside, like I'm bubbly, I'm extroverted, totally makes
Hmm.
sense and encouraging. And then my moon sign is a water sign. So I'm fluid, I'm introspective, I'm deep. And so when I ground, and I just came to this conclusion the other day, when I ground, I really gravitate towards one of two things. Well, one, I either listen to soundscapes of water or fire on my headphones.
Mm.
So I like campfires, I like rain.
Yeah. I love rain.
If I'm really
Agree with
stressed
that.
out, waterfalls, like the more torrential the
Hmm.
water sign, the water, the better. And I love burning incense and taking baths.
Mm.
So,
That's cool.
yeah, so I didn't know if you knew, like, do you know
I'm
what
a Libra. That's my sun sign. I don't know what my moon sign is. I should. I've had many astrology readings. I just never really paid attention. For some reason, that part didn't stick with me. But I am an air sign, which means that, yeah, staying grounded is important. And I have to say,
Mhm.
water is my muse as well. I wrote a blog way back when about water being my muse, and that's why I love paddleboarding
Ooh.
and sitting by
Mm.
streams and journaling. And yes, I am with you on that. We're water sisters on that.
Yeah, yeah, we're in flow. Maybe that's
Yeah,
why our conversations are like that. They're
that's
flowy.
right. That's right. So we should probably flow back to
Uh,
the
oh,
main thing
all
that's super
right, all right.
important, which is Crying Out Loud. Your book that's coming out that I have to say is splendid, and I'm enjoying
Oh,
it very much.
thank you. Thank you, Heather. That means
So,
a lot.
but we have a little bit backstory for that, right?
Yeah, so, for crying out loud, I'm just gonna wanna talk a little bit about now I wrote it. As with everything, it's always good to start at the start. But, like, yeah, I didn't start when I was born in that
Right.
book, 'cause then it would have been too long. It was the start of my awareness, my self-awareness, and waking up to my life at the time, which was a highly perfectionistic, do it all, big helicopter mama, 2 toddlers, stay at home, doing the volunteering, managing the anger of my husband at the time, and slowly coming into all sorts of realizations that nothing is perfect.
Mhm.
And I wrote it so that one of the big things that I've come to know in my life is that I am not alone. So I wrote it so that anyone who's reading it, whether or not they're in a similar situation or not, but just going through any big life shifts are hard because they kind of like throw us at the wall and
Mhm.
say like, wake up. This is what's happening right now in your
Yep.
world. And it might, it may or may not be what you want, but this is what's going on.
Right. And I think you described that really well. I too have had a life shift where all of a sudden you stop and look around and go, you wake up and you go, whoa, this isn't right. Like, this isn't, and if I stay here, I'm going to be miserable. And you really describe that shift and that all of a sudden that boom, waking up so well. I think that any woman who has had that moment, they're going to relate to it. So, and specifically, I'm talking about the mama bear moment where you transform into the mama bear. I loved that moment. And I think that a lot of people who've had that moment, maybe not transforming into the mama bear, but all of a sudden that it just like boom, whatever needs to change happens and there's no going back. There's no going back. So well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, thank you. That and a lot of times, so that moment was, it's just like something's right on your peripheral vision, and
Mhm.
you know there's something coming, and you start to be afraid that something is coming, right? So we all make this assumption. There's this base assumption that because we don't know what it is, it must not be good.
Right.
So
Mhm.
we run and we organize our cabinets and we do things that are unhelpful and detrimental to our health or to our marriages or
Mhm.
to, our careers, to avoid that knowledge that that's coming. And
Yeah.
and that knowledge is so, it's you. It's like there's another version of you waiting.
Mhm.
It's not who
Yeah.
you are now, and you don't have to be afraid.
Now, is it a version of you that's waiting or is it a version of you that's always been there that wants to blossom and come
Mhm.
out?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like a part of you that is finally like, Now is the time. We're gonna step
Mhm.
into this another version of me, another version of yourself. We're gonna add this superpower
Mhm.
into your list and into your awareness, so
Yeah.
you can own it and feel strengthened. And so, like, a lot of times, we're so strengthened by it, right? By knowing more about ourselves. And that's why I'm so passionate about, like, I love following down little rabbit holes of, like, what is my Enneagram type, or what is my disc profile?
Mhm.
I was really big into Myers-Briggs, like, way back in the day. And now I'm into, like, all right, what is my sun sign and my moon sign? What does my chart tell me about me? What's my human design? What does that mean? Because it's not that I'm just, like, so absorbed in, like, figuring out all these little things about me. It's because I'm trying to unearth myself, to find my happy and unearth my creative, so that I can make the world a better place.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so many
Yeah.
people think, like, oh, well, personal development is just, like, optional. It's just like this thing that people do for hobbies. No, it's like our responsibility.
Mhm.
This is
It's
our
why we're here.
responsibility to dig out. We were put with so many covers on because we're only going to believe what we find out when it's hard for us to get there, because if it's easy, we're not going to trust it,
Mhm.
because that's our
Yep.
nature. And whoever puts the covers on us, the universe, higher power, God,
Parents.
parents, like, they know that we need these covers, because we have to throw them off. We have to burn them
Mhm.
off. We have to melt them off
Mhm. Yep. We
to get
all
there.
have these things that need to be worked through, and I think that's the contract that we signed when we came down here.
Mhm. And we can
Um,
we can spend our life avoiding and being fearful of that
mhm.
next version of ourselves who is going to teach us things,
Mhm.
of that mama
Yep.
bear who's
Yeah.
gonna say, "This is who you are right now. Now you can own the courage and own the protection, and speak up for yourself and your cubs."
Right. And for those of you, because I'm speaking a little bit spiritually here about signing a contract, coming down, Heidi, you're talking about the universe giving you these things to work on. For those of you who aren't spiritual out there, who don't believe in self development, let me just tell you that you were raised by two human parents who are not perfect. And through those two human parents, you have issues that you need to figure out. So, because all parents drop their kids on their heads, doesn't matter. So,
Yeah.
that's my word for
Yes.
self-development. For
Amen,
personal
and I
development.
mean that in a non-religious way,
Mhm.
or
Yeah,
religious way.
Yes, right.
Either way.
How about you say it,
Yes.
sister? That's
Yes.
right.
Oh, yeah, even my dog is saying amen.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I
Speak
don't
it.
even know what you're barking at. Here you go, buddy. Go find a treat. Yes,
Yep.
I am here with my dogs are done chewing.
So
Okay.
in this book, you talk a lot about feelings. Talk to me about feelings, Heidi.
So, this book was my first foray, I would say, into feelings.
Mhm.
I um I have a chapter and some outtakes that I'm going to share at the end, link to them. And in one of the outtakes, it talks about the way in which I decided that I was going to marry my husband. And
Mm.
in no way, shape, or form were any feelings brought up in
Mm.
that discussion. It was just a very logical, Midwestern, efficient German American decision. So this would have been the time where I woke up. And when
Mhm.
I woke up, now I wanna tell you this, and I don't even know, I barely mention it in my book. So, before the maybe a little before the book, but during the book, I had found a friend, so I wasn't completely isolated. And as a verbal processor, if you are a fellow verbal processor, you will understand how critical it is to have
A friend.
friends you can talk to and
Mhm.
and see yourself through them. And I would go out and we'd have, like, a couple beers or whatever, and just hang out maybe, like, once a week or so. And the next morning, she would text me, "Heidi, that was beautiful, thank you so much." And I was like, "I mean, I wasn't, like, drunk, so, like, what happened?" And I'm pretty sure I remember driving home, I remember having, like, 2 beers and, like, 4 glasses of water and a Diet Coke, and so
Right.
and at some point, I either would get up in the middle of the night or I would come home and I would have another beer, and I would write a poem to
Mm.
her. And I never I to this day, I can't remember writing those poems. I don't have any of those poems because they were probably stuck on my little, like, slide keyboard
Right.
telephone at the time, my cell phone at the time, and I didn't know what I was doing then was getting out my feelings.
Mm.
As it never had entered into this person who was I was a good student and I was a good engineer and then I was a good wife and a good mommy and doing all the things. And I never bothered to ask myself, like, is all this doing? What's with all this doing? What happens if you just be? Because it's one of those things I believe I was probably taught to avoid, right? That
Mhm.
being and that not doing, the non-doing was in the peripheral vision. It was hunting me down in the middle of the night after I had like my third beer and saying it's time to just be. And then you can sleep. And
Right.
that's when I started writing down poems and I couldn't even call them poems for years and I didn't even know they were feelings related for
Mhm.
for quite a while until I started seeing a therapist at the time. So I'm gonna go grab my Elvis. What are you barking at? You're supposed to be sleeping. I'm gonna go get my chunky man.
Okay.
Um, I'll be right back.
All right. I will entertain people. I'm just kidding. I'm being a goof. um, just like that, she's back. Boom, boom. See, we
All
do
right.
get cute dogs.
All right. So, yeah, this is Elvis.
Hi,
And
Elvis.
he's been sleeping a lot lately and eating a lot lately. And
Ooh.
yeah, so he's gained 30% body weight maybe over the winter. So this 11-and-a-half-year-old is on a little bit of a diet right now. I mean, he's
Mm.
still cute, but he even has folds like behind his ears now. So that it's time. I mean, we
Oh.
all have folds behind our ears and, lumps
Mhm.
everywhere. Um,
But
so that's a
a
lot of
lot of
extra weight
meat
for
on his little frame.
yeah.
On her,
So
yeah.
so he's trying to get out. So anyway, I'm just gonna hold him and we're gonna have a chat, right, Elvis? Yeah, good boy.
Yes.
So, um,
So you
so
were
yeah, so
talking.
this is my foray into figuring out what feelings are and what happens
Mhm,
when you start feeling your feelings and if they're important or not in the grand context. And as you can imagine, eventually I end up understanding how important feelings are to feeling the good feelings. So when you're not
mhm.
feeling the bad feelings, you're also not feeling
Yes.
the good feelings. So
Feelings.
they all get kind of like compressed. So letting some of them out, like my gratitude for going out with my friend and all that stuff, letting that out also lets starts to let out all of the other feelings that were compressed. And I
Right.
call all the feelings, all that compression of feelings and the feelings that we have yet to understand and bring it out to our awareness, I call it the feelings parfait.
Mhm. Yes. The layers.
The layers. So we have, as we go through life, we have experiences, right? We're not just, and even if we are stuck at home in a pandemic, we go through life experiencing things. Like right now, I have a deep layer of sadness and concern for everyone who lives in Ukraine.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
It's just a something that I have in the because kind of running in the back of my head now.
Mhm.
And I could spend all day going down rabbit holes trying to keep up on what's going on and who said what and what our country's doing and what other countries are doing to help the situation. But ultimately, I choose to take care of myself, and I put my faith in things that things that are out of my control. I can only have faith for them, or I
Yeah.
can have doubt. Now, if
Yeah.
I let you go, Elvis, you're going to be quiet, okay?
I have to share it for those of you who don't watch John Oliver. Last week tonight with John Oliver, he talked about the Ukraine at the beginning of his episode, and he showed this clip of this woman in the Ukraine, this Ukrainian woman, walking up to a Russian shoulder soldier. I always say that wrong. Soldier. I have to really focus. And she has sunflower seeds because sunflowers are the national flower. And she's handing them to the soldier and says, "Put these in your pocket so that when you die, flowers will grow." Because she's like so mad that they have invaded her. And the soldier is like, Ma'am, you need to stop. You need to stop talking. You're going to escalate things." And she's like, "Escalate them to what? You've already escalated them. You've already invaded." It was
You're
just,
already here.
"You're already here destroying our lives." And he was just like, "How cold can you get?" Not that I don't blame her, but and very creative. "Here,
Yeah.
take these sunflower seeds. It seems like such a nice
So
gesture."
your body can nourish them. Your dead
Yeah.
body can
Nourish them.
nourish the flowers, and some good can come of all of
This
this
exactly. Exactly.
destruction.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. So anyway, the feelings
Hmm.
parfait. So that's what you mean by eating your feelings, because a lot of
So,
people think eating your feelings means like not expressing them, or
oh, like
by
swallowing
eating,
them up.
like swallowing
Like,
them up, or eating instead of feeling. Like actually,
yes.
but you're talking about eating this parfait and actually digesting
Yes.
and processing.
So I call eating your feelings accepting what is in your human experience. Accepting
Mhm.
all of the like, and I think this is so critical, and I want to talk about this. So I people talk a lot about feelings, and they think that, oh, if I can identify my feeling, then it's all done. It's like
Mhm.
I looked at the multiple choice, I checked the box like scared, and now I'm good,
Mhm.
and I'm just
Or
gonna go on.
petrified or
Or petrified.
terrified,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they all have little
disgusted.
meanings.
Yes. So I checked that box, so therefore I don't have to worry about that anymore. But what I'm talking about, so I didn't have any kind of vocabulary with
Mhm.
feelings. I was expressing them in metaphors in my poems.
Right.
I couldn't even, outside of happy, sad, and mad, I bless you. I honestly could not tell you, maybe afraid, what else was going on inside. That's you. She's doing great. She's just gonna
Okay.
we can't hear
I'm
you.
sorry. Go ahead, keep talking. I can
Okay.
hear you, but nobody needs to hear or see me blow my nose. So
Okay.
keep going.
That's great. Okay. So I think that the most important thing about feelings is that even not identifying them at all, just experiencing them as a human, experiencing them as part of who you are, not something separate, not something to put in a file cabinet and deal with later. Is
Right.
to be able to walk through life and say, like, acknowledge that my stomach is in knots.
Mhm.
And a lot of times before anything very new in my sphere, I'll say, "Oh, like, my stomach's in really big knots, and I'm gonna go hang out, in the bathroom, and I'm, gonna eat some toast."
Mhm.
And that is how I'm experiencing. And it's so important because once we once we decide to not acknowledge what is happening to us physically, we're shutting the whole faucet on what our heart is telling us.
Mhm.
And your heart also has a mind, in case you didn't know. So you have a heart mind and you have, your brain, and they communicate. So you're just shutting off like half of your faucet and like half of the way that you can intuit, like you can be intuitive about what's going on in your life and being able to feel your way through. Is this something that I need to move towards, or is this something I need to move away from?
Mhm.
So
Please
if you can't feel your feelings, you can't make a decision for you because you won't have the most complete information.
you
So
won't be
then
able
that
to navigate. You don't
yes,
have your
and then
compass.
and then you start to veer off into very unfriendly waters, and I call them like codependent waters. You're just
Mhm.
relying on other people to make decisions for you in your best interest, but you are the only person
Mhm.
who can make decisions in your best interest because you are the only person who has your heart and your
Mhm.
mind and your intuition. And I know people are well-meaning, but this
But
is your life.
when you say other people, you're not just talking about your mom or your dad or your husband or your children. You're also meaning society. Society is also telling you how to live your life. The
Yes.
big they that's
Yes.
out there.
Yes, so we all are born to society with these unwritten rules and unwritten
Mhm.
expectations and all of this structure on how to behave and what our values are. Our parents
Mhm.
also put their own layer on top of that, our siblings, our friends, all
Mhm.
that. But we're not going to be able to listen through the noise if
Mhm.
we can't listen to ourselves.
Mhm. Our emotions are 100% signals, signs for us. And so I think part of that eating parfait is, like you said, not only recognizing, labeling it, but then asking why. Why am I scared? So I'm at a party. I should be having a good time. Why do I feel scared right now?
Mhm. Yeah.
Um,
Why are my palms sweaty?
mhm,
Why am I avoiding going out in the living room?
mhm.
What
Yeah.
what so the main thing, the first is to accept that feeling, not say like, "Oh, I'm not scared."
Mhm.
Whatever. That's
Yeah.
just
I'm being
what I
ridiculous.
Yeah, this is so then you're immediately completely discounting what your heart is telling you. And so you're not gonna listen to it as well next time. You're gonna ignore it even stronger next time. And so you're never gonna have the full story that
Mhm.
you were meant to hear
Yeah.
or you were meant to share.
And it's so interesting now that you're talking about this and we're talking about this and diving deeper because there are 3 numbers on the Enneagram that are feelings repressed. And they see feelings is a waste of time, it gets in the way of productivity. Feelings take energy. And so that's why the most feeling of the Enneagram numbers have low energy because they're feeling everything, they're processing it while these others aren't. And it's hard to explain to them that, like you said, and this is good words that you said, so I'm going to use them in the future, that you're not getting all the information, you're not getting the facts if you're ignoring your feelings. And that's really interesting. So thank you. I like
You're
that.
welcome. Yeah. It's like
Mhm.
saying, do you want an apple or
Yeah.
make a choice? Um, okay. So yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Also, just so curious, so to continue on this Enneagram path. So the feelings repressed ones. So the heart centered ones, I know I'm a heart center. So 2, 3, 4. So
Mhm.
those would be the feelings ones.
Those are feelings ones, but the 3 is an assertive number, and so it represses it. They repress their own feelings. So they process the world through emotions, meaning like they read other people's emotions. But when it comes to their own emotions, they briefly feel it, but then they set it aside. I'll deal with that later, but then they never deal with it. They just keep setting it aside.
Ooh.
Right. And then the
Ooh.
8, which is a gut-based number, feelings are make them vulnerable.
Oh, and they
And
probably
so
think that's weak.
that's weak. And they can't let people think that you are weak. So they set theirs aside. They will express anger, but that's about it. And then the 7. The 7 is the other assertive number that represses their feelings because they don't want to feel trapped in those feelings. They're afraid they're going to get trapped there. So everything is happy go lucky. They're always turning lemon to lemonade. They're the Tiggers of the Enneagram. They're the ones, like if anybody's seen Inside Out, um,
Mm.
the main feeling character in Inside Out that keeps
Is
pushing aside the
joy.
sad. Yes.
Joy.
Yes, exactly. And then in that movie, you realize, oh, sad's kind of important. So whatever that, I don't know if that character was called Sad. I don't remember, but
Yeah.
so yeah, that's the Enneagram. And so that's they all repress them for different reasons. But they all still repress them.
Yeah, I was gonna say being married to a 1, they're all about the facts. My wife's all about the facts.
Mhm.
That's a true the how was your day? And then I will get, like, the full detailed lineup on, like, what she ate and what she read and what her coworker said, and then I'm like, "Let me rephrase, how do you feel about your day?" Crickets.
Crickets, exactly. Which is something for all you ones out there. I just learned something fascinating about ones on Monday night for my Enneagram group. Ones base all of their self-worth on what they do. It's all based on doing.
The human doings.
The human doings, what they achieved that day, what they accomplished, what they did get done, like all of that. And then if they didn't get something done on their list, then all of a sudden the shame comes and blah blah blah. So yeah, that's what's most important. And learning to feel and process those feelings. That's a little bit, yes, the challenge of the
It's
one.
hard. They have to put that on their list.
Hmm.
I know my one of my nicknames for my wife is 180 because she always does 180% more than she needs to. And
Yes.
so I use that as like, "You did a lot today, sweetheart. Can we put you on your list?" Or,
Hmm. Yeah.
things like that. And so
Yeah.
I know part of me saying that also is me continuing to give myself permission to take care of myself as a highly sensitive 2 that needs a lot
Hmm.
of downtime and a lot of
Yes.
being time and not a lot of doing time.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so
It's
yeah,
true.
so I do recognize that. I just wanna say
Mhm.
for sure. Great. Yes. So, I wanna move on here, but I would love anyone watching the replay, if you want the first chapter as well as a couple outtakes, go to HeidiEsther.com/free chapter. There it is. Yay. And you can nab your chapter. My book will be out March 30th. So you can buy it on Amazon then.
Yes. All right. So
Yay.
I do want to ask you one question, and I guess we
Oh.
kind of already answered it. I was going to ask, what do you hope people will take away from reading the book? So maybe besides the importance of feelings, is there something else you would
Mm,
like people to take away from this book?
yes, yes. So I made a bookmark with the message of what I hope people take away from the book. And I swear I have the bookmark here. I do. I am worthy of joy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
that is what I hope. And I do still truly believe that people, I know there are people who need to read the book just so that you know that you're not alone
Mm-hmm.
and there's
Because
other people.
that's what you learned in the
Mhm.
book. Like
Yes.
at one point, I forget exactly what your uh, therapist slash preacher said that was, but it was something like, you deserve joy too, or you deserve to be happy too, or something like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, yeah, I think
And you were
mhm.
like,
Yeah, that was a big moment, and it inspired a some soul searching in a tree.
hmm
So I'll just say
yes.
that as a little nugget.
Yes, a little nugget, a very good scene. And I think that that's important. It's important for somebody like a 2 with you, like the Enneagram, or a lot of people to learn that you deserve joy, which means that sometimes you're going to not, the other people are not going to be happy in the choices you make in order to find that joy. And
Mm.
that's not your problem.
Mhm.
And that's not your problem. And that's a hard thing to learn because we're told to take care of other people and be aware of other people. And that's true. We do need to do those things, but not um, in the detriment of ourselves, sacrificing ourselves.
Mhm. Yeah, I used to that is so spot on, Heather. I used to always going around saying like, "I don't have that many pounds of flesh."
Hmm.
I said this with almost like pride, like, but then it
Ah,
was this point where I think at some point I caught myself saying that, and I was like, "Oh, this makes much more sense now."
yeah.
It needs to be an and.
Hmm.
It's if it's an
Yes.
or, I'm always gonna put myself last, but if it's an
Yes.
and, I can put myself first.
Yes. I love that. And is a really powerful word.
Mm.
I wrote a blog once about, I don't know, it was a small blog, but it was about how people say but, and but negates everything before it. So if you put and, both parts get to be true, you
Mm.
know? So, and it's very empowering. And so, or, and say getting rid of or and putting in and just as empowering. I like that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love
Yay.
that. Wow, yay! So
Yay.
yay, so don't forget to get the get the free chapter.
Yes. And when does your book launch, Heidi?
So book launches on March 30th. So
And where will they be able to get to your book?
you'll be able to get my book on Amazon.
And what if they wanted to get the book early? Could they do that?
Yes. So then you can join if you want the book early, you can join Team Sunshine. And the only thing you have to do is read the book and then buy it and review it on launch day.
Yes.
And you can go to HeidiEsser.com/sunshine and fill out a form, and I'll be in touch with you with my book.
Hmm. It's worth it,
Yay.
people. It's a good book. I'm enjoying it.
Thanks, Heather.
You're
Yay.
welcome. And I'm not saying that because I love you. I'm saying that because it's a good book. So
That means a
I
lot
don't,
for me.
that doesn't, I don't bullshit about books. Let me put it that way.
I figure I only get better from here. So I gotta get the first book out to get the second book out to get the third book
That's
out,
right.
et
That's
cetera, et
right.
cetera. For
Etc.
sure.
Etc.
For sure. All right.
All right. So shall we move to gratitude?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. You go first.
Okay.
What are you grateful for?
So even though I have Senior Barky Pants over here, I took Senior Barky Pants and his sister, Senorita Barky Pants, for a walk before this show, and it was one of the first days that you wake up and you know that when you put your hand on the window, it's going to be warm.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went outside with no coat on
Yes.
and I let the sun warm my cheeks while we walked.
Oh, that's lovely. I love that.
Mm.
It I can relate to that because we also had a day like that. I can't remember if it was Monday or yesterday where I went on a walk and I didn't have a coat or a hat. And it was so freeing.
Mm.
I
Mhm.
totally agree with you. Feeling the sun warm you up to the bones a bit, you know?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a warm blanket of
Mhm.
springtime
Yeah, it's a little
flowers.
dangerous though, because you're like, "Ooh, spring's here." Nope, it's gonna snow again on Friday, just at least here in Colorado, just so you
Yeah,
know.
we're also supposed to get some icy rain here in the Midwest.
Oh,
We
geez.
can't wait to chisel out our cars once again.
How does one chisel out their car?
So
I'm
you
curious.
you gotta kinda, like, get it in your head that you don't wanna break off your door handle. So,
Yeah.
go with this mindset, and then you just kind of you make sure the car's unlocked, you just kinda rock that door back and forth until you can get it open. And once you get it open, you can start the de-thawing, but you
Yes.
basically have to do that for all the doors.
Yeah.
And, if you can't get your trunk open, you just let it go, and you put in the things you need to get in the trunk from the other doors.
Yeah.
That's what you do. And the really smart people, of which I have not joined that team yet this year, will put their windshield wipers up the day before so they don't freeze to the windshield.
That is smart. Let me tell you a sad story. Um, we bought an old BMW X3, and when the windshield wipers are down, you can't lift them up. They hit the hood. You
Oh,
have to turn them on and stop them midway and then extend
huh.
them. I don't know why. Jeff explained it to me at one point, and I don't remember because I thought, "Meh." I don't know. I don't remember what I thought. Obviously, it wasn't important for me to remember. Not no offense to Jeff, it's to the windshield wipers. So I'm jealous of those people because I don't think I had a time to do that. Mhm. Yes. I am grateful that, my computer was okay and I didn't lose any data, and
Yay.
that I listened to my gut, which was saying this the whole time, but I still went to Micro Center, which was gonna take 28 days just to get a diagnostic and then 1 to 3 weeks to get the part in.
Mm.
If what we thought was wrong, so they were gonna have it for 2 months. Instead, I went to the little independent guy down the street from me, and he had it done in 3 days. 3 days. So, I was grateful that I got it back so quickly with not that much money, and everything was intact. I am grateful.
I am also very grateful. And small businesses, yay.
And small businesses, yay, absolutely.
Ah, that
All
is
right. What is your no seriously?
okay. So I mentioned earlier that I put my book up in this, like, online distribution thing so that I need to I wanna pre-order a bunch of copies so that I can, mail out some signed copies of my book,
Mhm. Yes.
and I was writing in all this information, and basically what it turned out was that if online retailers decide to pu purchase my book in any kind of a bulk form,
At
I only
wholesale price?
at a wholesale price, I only make $1.66 per book. And then I had another kind of disappointing event earlier yesterday, and so this kinda, like, catapulted me into more disappointment, like, wow, no wonder everyone says you need to have more than one income stream when you write. So
Mm,
it was just another note from the universe saying, "Keep doing what you're doing. You need the book to get out there because the book has to establish you as a storyteller and as someone who gets vulnerable and shares her message so that I can share my other message of peeling your onion, which the
mhm.
and things like the feeling parfait." So
Yes.
so yeah. So it was a little bit of a wake-up call, but I was like, "No, seriously?
Yeah.
$1.66? Okay.
Yeah. That's
That's
like that's like not even close to not unemployment, minimum wage.
yeah,
Not even for
$1.66.
waitresses, like,
That's
you're
not
not getting
even a
any
tip.
tips.
The $2 is normally the minimum tip.
Yeah.
It is jeez. So anyway, what about what about you, Heather?
$2.
Dude.
$2. Um, no, seriously. I guess my no seriously this morning is we have Watson, who's an adorable cat. He's just so cute and fluffy. His tail is amazing, and he has a little white thing on the tip of his tail, which so Jeff calls him Pip Cat.
Aw.
And I thought it's so nice that Pip Cat does not throw up like Jeff's old cat did.
Oh, no.
Nope. This morning, 2 throw up spots and a hairball. It has begun. So, yeah, not my favorite part about cats. Really not. So that's my no seriously. Jeff did what he could to clean it up today, and then after this, I get to go up and clean up the rest.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
So now we know what Heather's doing this afternoon.
Yes. Part of it anyway, not the whole
I
afternoon.
have the better afternoon. My in-laws will be here, and they're gonna help me round my corners on my bookmarks
Ooh,
and help
nice.
us fix things like our grout and faucets and things, and they're gonna
That's
buy us
lovely.
some sushi.
Oh,
So very,
sushi.
very
What's your
grateful.
favorite sushi? What's your
Oh,
favorite?
man. So they usually have this thing called the dragon roll, and so it has,
Mhm.
like, all these different fish on top, and so it's pretty.
Yes.
Sometimes I think it's called the rainbow roll, but I like it
Yeah.
when it's the dragon roll because sometimes those have, like, a little sauce on them or something.
Yes. Maybe a little bit of crunchies on
Yes.
top.
Do you have a
Mhm.
favorite sushi?
My favorite is probably the yellowtail.
Mm.
Um, and, other than I mean, I love it all. And then, yeah, I like a nice, good, yummy roll, definitely with the sauce and the crunchies and, yeah, some of that
Yay.
deep fried goodness. Other
Yes.
than that, it's not considered sushi, but I love me some crab cheese wontons. I'm all down about that.
Ooh, I don't know
Yeah.
if I've ever had
What?
miso crab
Y
cheese wonton.
No, not
That's
miso, me some crab cheese wontons, just crab cheese
oh,
wontons.
oh, yeah, those are very good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I love
delicious.
those. They're
Yeah,
delicious.
they're not good for
Alright,
you. Go ahead.
alright, we're bringing back the bowl of affirmation, and it has changed forms from a bowl to a snowman, and
Woohoo.
he is not gonna melt through the summer months. So, we'll probably have to come up with a name for this little
What's the name of
colorful
what's the name of the one in the Disney movie? What's his name?
what do you mean,
That's
Olaf?
Olaf.
Is it
Thank
Olaf,
you.
right?
I think it is Olaf. I
Okay.
think you're right.
Alright, so we're gonna pick one for you, Heather, one for me, and then one for our audience. Alright. Oh, this is hilarious.
I can't read it. Read it out loud.
My feelings matter.
Oh, wow. Okay. That is
On
hilarious.
on point, on point. Alright. Okay, mine is I probably need this one. I am resilient.
Oh, you do need this one.
Yep.
You're in the end game now, and there's a lot going on. It's like the 2 weeks leading up to a wedding, when everything starts like going in.
Yeah, and one of those weeks, I'm gonna be in the Smoky Mountains without Wi-Fi.
Ooh,
So
actually,
I
it's a good thing for you, I think.
yeah, I need I can tell my body is like, "If we could just make it there, we will be okay." Alright, so I'm gonna pick a red one. I did a yellow one and a green one so far. Alright, and so for all of you watching the replay, you get, "I am grateful and proud of who I am."
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good
So
one.
expressing gratitude and pride, right? The double bonus there.
Mhm. Yep. Yep, we talked
So
about both of those today. So
we did.
so
Alright.
I think they were very intuitive today. Well done, affirmation bowl,
Yeah, we're
snowman.
done, snowman, or we can call him Olaf.
We'll find a
I don't
better
know.
name.
Yeah, we'll find a better name. We'll think
Yeah,
about it. A transparent snowman who's got colorful color in him.
color on
All
the inside.
right. So, announcements. So, other than my book's going to launch on March 30th, and I'm putting the ticker down, HeidiEsser.com/free chapter for chapter my book.
Yes.
What else we got going on in April?
Cultivating lasting happiness.
That's
what our April thing is.
That is a big point.
I have a feeling that I'm involved in that in some way as the happiness expert.
I also have a feeling.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Goodness.
fantastic.
Yes. So I just want to say we really enjoy chatting with each other, and we enjoy those of you who watch. And thank you to all of you because I don't know, you
Yeah,
just
thanks for
bring in the
everyone.
good juju.
Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
for showing up and giving time to learn a little bit about feelings and happiness, freedom, and joy, and how to cultivate more of that in your life. And we will see you back
On April 6th,
on April 6th.
first Wednesday of April.
Yay! All
Yes.
right, everybody. Have a good
Thank
one.
you. Thank you. Bye.